Do you want to have the best progress possible before starting your New Game Plus? You are in the right place. Learn the things that you can't afford to miss before finishing the game and have the perfect start possible in New Game Plus. Starting by tying the loose ends and making use of your extra time left before the final battle. The game will give you almost 1 month to max out your social links and bonds, do quests, and more. If I remember it correctly, the final countdown will start around 9:26 and you do have till 10:25 to wrap things up. And the priority on your list is maximizing your bonds. You do have a lot of followers, so this should come first more than anything else, since you need to unlock as many archetypes as you can before completing the game. It may seem that all of the things that we are going to talk about in this guide are a daunting task, but believe me, if you handled your schedule well from early to mid-game, this shouldn't be a problem. Bond leveling in Metaphor Refantazio is much more lenient compared to the other Atlus titles, so there is a high chance you will be able to max them out without issues and you still have time to do other stuff. In my personal case, I managed to max out all virtues and bonds, clear all side quests, and still had 13 free days left without following any guide, so I know it's possible. If you are going to max out your bonds, of course, it will require us to have a level 5 virtue levels. Same thing with bonds, virtue levels are easy to level up in this game. And I remember during late mid-game, I already had level 5 virtues to start with. You can carry your virtue levels and archetype levels in New Game Plus, so leveling up your virtues and bonds are the priorities on the list. I will go in depth on what are the things that will be carried on to New Game Plus later on. When the most important things are done, I highly suggest completing all of the side quests out there, and if you started clearing quests early, you have plenty amount of time to complete them all. Just in case you can complete them all, what I will be suggesting is prioritizing the tower trials so you can engage in the most difficult challenges in the game and also get great rewards in the process. I'm not gonna spoil what are the rewards or the actual battles that you will be facing for these trials, but I highly suggest going for them. You can't miss them as the game will prompt you where to get the said quest when the official final days starts. If you haven't participated in the Coliseum ever, now is the time to do so, and with your current endgame state, you will just breeze through the fight. Coliseum ranking matches give great rewards, like really great rewards, such as the Gambler's Manual that doubles your crit damage, or the Fortune's Grasp that adds more archetype XP multipliers, and more. And rewards like these can only be obtained once per playthrough. If you find yourself lacking time doing these Coliseum ranking matches, note that you can also do these at night, which is extremely helpful. I would also suggest finding and collecting all of the gold beetles available to you currently and exchanging them for great rewards before completing your first playthrough. Although some of the beetles are missable, I have linked all the locations of all the beetles in the game just in case you want to hunt them all. If this guide is providing value so far, subscribing to the channel, liking the video, and engaging in the comments helps me a lot, and I appreciate your support. When the day comes before the final battle, the game will prompt you that you should be talking to your followers. I suggest finding and talking to them all, since they will give you a special key items that add stats to their supported archetypes when you channel them. You might hit the bed early and completely miss the said items, since this is the only time you can do this. Plus, it's a fun time to remember your early days with your supporters. I haven't tested this, but I think you can only get the said exclusive items from your followers that have level 8 bonds. Another good thing to do is to max all the current archetypes of your members, and archetype levels will be carried over to the New Game Plus, but the main reason why you should be doing this is that you will be getting the final weapons of each archetypes by reaching the 90% and 100% of archetype progress of a certain member. Like for example, the protagonist, where he will give you the final weapon of the merchant archetype after reaching 90% on his archetype board, while the King's Sovereignty is at 100%, which is the final weapon of the Seeker archetype. These weapons are so broken, and it will help you to progress in New Game Plus much faster. It seems to be an overwhelming task unlocking all of the archetypes in a certain board at first glance, but with the latest spots in the endgame, maxing any archetype within minutes is possible, so it's not that hard. If you want to know the best endgame spot in the game, I have made a detailed guide about this topic, so click the card here or check the description. By now, you already have a clue of the things you can carry over to New Game Plus, but to be clear, here's a quick rundown. You can carry over your Royal Virtues levels, archetype levels, mag and cash, items and equipment, scan enemies, gold beater progress, and your total playtime. So in simple terms, if you will start again at level 1, you will be wrecking your enemies still with the latest gear and max archetypes. However, you will still need to unlock each of them again through leveling bonds. So if you want to get your revenge on your old enemies, this is the time. This is the reason why I suggested to max all of your archetypes first and get your final weapons before going to New Game Plus. Not only that, buy a reasonable amount of bat souls if you do have extra time during your final days, and more into this later. You also have an option to farm 99 pieces of health and energy incense before accessing to New Game Plus for later use, which is an easy thing to do, but again, check my endgame farming guide as I talked about how to farm for the said incense effectively in that video. You will be getting a lot of these anyways when farming for archetype XP. But the question why you want to play on New Game Plus certainly crossed your mind, and the reason is an exclusive content is waiting for you in this mode. Access Academia in New Game Plus, and you will notice that the Book of Apocalypse is now available to you. Accessing this book will let you fight the hardest super boss in the game, so better come prepared. Another thing is there are also 4 endings in the game, so if you do not have save backups, this is the time for you to see them all if you haven't yet. Plus, if you are looking for the challenge, you can only access the Regicide difficulty in New Game Plus for those who are looking for the hardest challenges that the game can offer. There is a high chance that you did not use much of a bat souls during your first playthrough to gain additional stats. Here comes the fun part. Since you already maxed out your royal virtues, in New Game Plus, you will have a lot of time using bat souls to increase your stats. As soon as this feature becomes available in the Gauntlet Runner, make sure to take advantage of it to have a stronger main character in the process. But if you've just started the game or looking for the best farming spots at endgame, these videos are for you, and I will catch you on the next one.